Greetings from Fort Washington, Maryland. I'm Ryan. We're going to meet with published author Adilah Barnes, who has a brand new book out, On My Own Terms. We are right now visiting Adilah on Stop 20 on her book tour. Let's talk about how this started and what led you to Stop 20 right here in Fort Washington.
Actually, I've been all over the country, and sometimes the tour has taken me to personal homes. Like today, this is my third home. I had my first in Santa Monica, California, at the home of my buddy from college, UC Santa Cruz. And my second stop that I had was actually nearby in Mitchellville, another buddy from college, and today from my childhood friend, Marisa Davis, and she's hosting here. I've also done colleges, I've done universities. While I've been touring my one-woman show, I Am That I Am Woman Black, so that's been extremely convenient because just after doing the performances, we do the book signings. And I've also just kind of gone to alternative places as well, like the Department of Fish and Wildlife in Sacramento, and at theaters, the State Theater in Oroville, California, where I grew up as a child, and also at a nearby theater in North Hollywood, which was my official junket tour first stop. Although I had done it the first time, actually, in Atlanta, where I have the Writers' Well, where writers come and develop their works at my place there. So I've been all over the place, from coast to coast, literally.
Adilah, though, is a house party for a book, is that alternative in promoting the book, and is that a new media market?
Well, I think that it is. If we're talking about the kind of thing like I've done today, you mean?
Yes.
I think it is, and I think it's an alternative way in that you don't really need to have an overhead, you're not paying to do the book signing in some particular place where you use their space, and it's more intimate. People invite their friends, and so it really has a kind of intimacy that you don't get necessarily when you're doing a bookstore kind of junket tour. And I think that we're going to see this a lot more, as well as having those that are book clubs actually decide on a book and have the writer come. I'll be doing that in May and also in June. I'll be going to reading circles actually where they've purchased the book, they've read the book, they'll discuss the book as if I'm not there, and then I'll add my comments at the end. I mean, that may not be the choice they want to make, but that's how I'd like to do it, because I want them to be uninhibited, to say what they really feel about the book. I want to receive what I hear, and then I'll save my comments for the end.
Well, aside from talking about the book, everyone got to have lunch with Adilah today, too. That was a great opportunity. Not only were we sitting in the living room, there was a lunch set up in the dining room, a really quaint environment. But let's talk about your trip to D.C. Because we're really close to our nation's capital. I know on this trip you got to visit with Barack Obama and Michelle and go to the White House for an unveiling of a statue.
Actually, Michelle Obama was there. We were actually in the Capitol, and we had Hillary Clinton, we had Nancy Pelosi, we had Sheila, Jackson Lee, Cicely Tyson portrayed Sojourner Truth. Afrey Woodard was there. It was pretty amazing. It was invitational only, so I feel very honored that I was asked to come.
What were some of the other highlights on the book tour? Where else you stopped at? You can't really compete with hanging out with the Obamas looking at statues, but what were some of the other highlights on the tour?
Well, I'd say going to my hometown of Oroville, California, where we had a huge line of people, and seeing people from my past, including a woman who's now in a wheelchair and came up to get her book and said, "Do you remember me?" And I said, "Of course, Mrs. Steele, I remember you." So that was one of the stops that probably was the most heartwarming, because it took me back to my childhood and my small community.
Big community, big world press, On My Own Terms. What is this book about, real fast? What are people going to find when they turn the pages here?
I would say, as I always do, it's really the story of an ashy-kneed little black girl who grows up in a rural town, who has big dreams and many angels along the way who guide her on her path.
Well, this dream came true. The book is published. I'm Ryan Wolowski in Fort Washington, Maryland.